Today I'm doing a slightly different video, but one I feel I've wanted to do for a little while now. My experience living with OCD. So now I actually understand the condition a little bit more, it's made me realise it is something I've had for years. It's only within the last couple of years I've actually got therapy for it, and this only came around after a couple of nasty jobs at work. So basically, after you see a couple of bad things at work, you get put through a process called diffusing, and this is where someone from the service will check your well-being. If after they've checked your well-being you still feel like you need some help, potentially they can offer you some support. So personally, after these jobs I actually felt okay. It just got to a point where I just thought enough is enough with all these thoughts I've been having, all these weird things I'd been doing. So I thought I'd actually ask them a question about what they can offer for this sort of condition. Following this, I then got referred to a third-party therapist, and this is where things became apparent. You may be wondering what sort of things I do, and I've actually written a little list, just because it's hard on the spot to think of exactly what you do, but here we go. So I check the locks on the doors 10 times, needing to hear a certain noise they make. I make sure the kids make a certain breath before I can leave them to sleep. I check the zips a certain ways up on the cushions. I make sure I have my work stuff ready even when I'm off duty. I do certain phone checks before I go to bed, and if that's disturbed I have to start all over again. I say out loud a certain sequence before I go to bed. Light switches have to be in certain positions, and I'll also avoid walking over things like 3 drains, even if it means doing something stupid. So I've had it at times when I'm about to walk over 3 drains and I end up jumping into the road or skipping around it or doing something stupid. And the problem is, if I don't do these things, in my head I think something really bad is going to happen. So as you can probably imagine, these things can be really stressful, but not just for me, but for my family as well. So I actually need to say thanks to Sophie, really, for putting up with it. She actually understands it. She gives me time. She does certain things that just allow me to carry on with my normal everyday life without getting frustrated all the time. But don't get me wrong, there's some certain things when she doesn't quite understand it and will get frustrated, but I think that's pretty normal. So aside to it that I'll never actually show on here is that you can be quite down, you can be quite angry, and sometimes you just might want to be on your own for a bit. Sometimes I just can't get the thoughts out of my head, and that then starts to take over in everything else I do. And I do sometimes sit there and think, I wish people would just understand it, but then I think, why should they actually understand something that I'm having to go through? So being a firefighter with OCD definitely does come with challenges, but generally I don't take those things to work, and I'm pretty good at doing things without anyone knowing that I'm actually trying to go through certain stuff in my head. As you can imagine, within that line of work, there is times when you have to perform under pressure, and sometimes I actually feel that this benefits me, as I've got a bit of a process in my head that I try and go through, and normally it allows me to know everything is, or exactly what I need to be doing, and I just follow a certain process. So now on to being a parent with OCD, so things can be really challenging with this as well. So the kids really do mean the world to me, and I want to give them the best upbringing as possible, and I want to be as present as I can with them, but some of the challenges I find is that I get distracted very, very easily. So we could be out at the park, playing, and I know all my attention should be on the kids, but at times my mind is running at 1,000,000 miles an hour and I can't get certain things out of my head until I've done them. I know there is times where I just feel like I need to switch off, but my mind physically will not allow me to do it. And then with regards to the gym, it literally does save me. So I generally don't know what I'd do without the gym now. Don't get me wrong, there is some days when I think I really do not want to go to the gym, but in my mind I'm thinking, just do it, because you know how much better you feel once you've done it. So personally, I am still looking to try and get more help around OCD, but already I've had CBT, which I do think helped slightly because it allowed me to understand it, but I don't think it's really helped me in terms of things I'm doing. So I'm still doing the things I don't want to be doing, but at the same time I'm understanding why I'm doing them, and when I go to do them I know why my body's telling me certain things. So it did help, but I think more is still required. So as I mentioned, the gym really does help me. So I'd always encourage people to do a form of exercise, just because it really does make you feel good once you've done it. Even if it's something just like a short walk, that will still make you feel so much better. So I don't actually speak about OCD that often, but I do think it really does help openly speaking about it, and it actually shows that other people are going through similar things to you. So even though I'm still learning loads about the condition, what I'd say is try and think of it as a superpower rather than a weakness. So I know full well in my mind that I can do things that nobody else can do, so that I try and think of it as more of a superpower. So if anyone has any more suggestions on things I could try to potentially make it better or easier for me, then I'd be more than open for you to discuss those with me. I am planning to get more help around this, and if you're also going through this sort of thing, I think you should as well. But anyway, I appreciate you listening to my story around OCD, and I hope it can resonate with a few of you as well. I'm also interested to hear your stories about it and how you deal with it, so feel free to drop me a message and I look forward to hearing from you. Keep strong, big love.